All right, and we're back doing it live. Hobby Hanks Part 2, the Squeakuel. Mhm. Da 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 da. And we're back. Okay. Man, this. There we go. Okay. All right. Thank you, Possum. Thank you. Alrighty. So I put up all of my tweezers and stuff, but that was probably not the best idea because I'm probably going to want to get those back down because there's hair all in here. It is snowing like crazy outside. I'm pretty tired of the snow. I was just ready for it to be warm. But now it's not doing it. It says it's time for snow. What is the snow? Yeah. Yeah. Normally, that's also how we kind of are. We've actually gotten quite a bit of snow this year. Well, last year. But we got a good amount, a couple of inches last night. And it's just still coming down. I'm ready for it to be warm and sunnier. Tired of having a heater on in the basement when I'm painting. Maybe a little water on there. Just a little bit. Yeah, it's better. So, as a fellow mech enjoyer, are you into Russian creature at all? I do enjoy them. Oh no, I do enjoy them. I have not ever really looked into much about like the universe or lore or anything like that. But as far as like the design and the art, absolutely. Come on, paint, get off there. Gonna have to go over that a little bit more of that ink, but that's fine. Didn't want to get the white. So yeah, Mac. MAK, Mac, Machine and Krieger. I do enjoy them. I've never built any of them, but I definitely would. I think if I knew more, I definitely would have picked them up by now. I think I have a hard time, I think, just building something that I think is like, oh, that's really cool, with the exception of like Gundam is really the only thing, I guess, that. But even like certain Gundams, like I don't like to build them until I've seen like the anime, uh, which is kind of, I feel like, a weird thing to do. But I guess that's the same thing with like Machine and Krieger and any of the other, I guess, mecha model kits that are out there. I love Gundam the anime first and foremost, so that's like why I started to do the models. But I love robots, so like Evangelion, I've got a large amount of those models as well. Still need the main Unit 1, but I've got Unit 2 and Unit 0. Yeah, the prototype yellow one. I just don't have Shinji's. But no, I do like. I think the lore is a little tough. I think it mainly came out in all Japanese. So yeah, that's another thing that like I feel like it was a very. I was under the impression that it was like super garage kit. Like I didn't know how much of it was a fully formed like franchise versus like a smaller like group that like made them. But yeah, I think it's just that I don't know. It looks like a weird, like I feel like what it is. It looks like a weird mix of scale modeling and like Japanese like modeling. It's very clearly like a science fiction done from like I don't know. It's just very, I think, real world Japanese model kit building. Um, like how I typically see Japanese model makers do scale models. Like it's the way that I've seen it done typically is it's a very scale model, but it's so clearly Japanese too. Like I don't know what I mean. But there was a rights issue back in the day, but that's over. It's more normalized. Nice. Okay, yeah, I assumed it was like because of how little produced it was. I assumed it was a like garage kit kind of thing, but it always has had like a very not European kind of vibe to it, if that makes sense. And it might be the shapes. Everything's much more round, uh, which I kind of typically associate with Japanese like sci-fi aesthetics. Smoother, sleeker. Okay, so apparently the snow is rough out there. So it's my wife telling me not to try to drive to work to do my job that I can do from home. I can barely see the lines on College Street. Hopefully I'm on my side. That's awful. Okay, yeah. No, not good. You should have let me take you. Okay. Yeah, no, I should look more into Machine Krieger though. It was very much like, yes, okay, there you go. Yeah, no, that's, that, you get what I'm saying. Like, it's got, there's a very, I don't know, it's clearly a Japanese franchise. Like, when I look at it, I'm like, yep, that's like Cold War style, like sci-fi, but it's so very clearly Japanese, I think, in its aesthetic. Um, which is a good thing. I mean, it's not like, oh, I love it because it's Japanese. It's more of just shit. They invented a lot of sci-fi, like a lot of it, as far as robots go. Like, period. Like Gundam, that's like the OG baby. Totally have Transformers, Voltron, Power Rangers. Uh, Yeah, no worksheet. I don't want to go to work. I do not want to go to work today. I think instead I will stay in basement and cry all day. Coffee's still hot. Coffee's still hot. People boo ba ba. Oh yeah, I gotta get this tummy too. That's the thing about tummies. There's usually one on both sides. Not on the back, but like the top. Mm. Yeah, that eyeball's gonna be real creepy. It's gonna be good. I was really excited about my full-sized skeleton coming in today, but it's on the other side of Kentucky now. Thanks, Jeffrey. I don't know how to work today. Possum, you've already got your work done. You are off work already. I can't remember when. I watched or read, but it gave me a desire to see less Eurocentric grim dark stuff. Yeah, was it Trench Crusade? Just anything about Trench Crusade? Because I think a lot of people are kind of getting that vibe. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what I don't find interesting about it. I'm really trying to figure it out. I think it's. I still have 1 hour and 18 minutes. Oh man, so you're still at work. Yeah, I don't know fully what I mean by this, but I know that I mean it. And Trench Crusade, there is something about it. And if you're vibing Trench Crusade, I'm not trying to like. I legitimately would. Everything about it, it should like be something that I'm like super stoked about, but I just can't get into it. And I think it's just kind of like a Taylor Swift vibe, where it's just like it insists upon itself, and I'm just like, I don't know. It just seems. It doesn't seem like a labor of love. Is I guess the biggest thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But maybe it's just also how it's been presented. I have not looked in as much as I should have. I'm walking away with a very half-baked opinion about Trench Crusade, but I don't. I think that's it. It's too. It just seems like it's trying too hard, and that's like the opposite of what I want. Like, I don't know. Like, I already have to try and reinvent the wheel with Warhammer to get like to make the characters I want, but that's not reinventing the wheel. I guess it's I get to. I like to. I've got a lot of time invested in this imaginary universe, and you can always make your own imaginary universes and stuff. I don't know. Trench Crusade. There's just something about it that, and maybe I mean shit. Maybe it's the fact of the time period that we find ourselves in. The world's already got a lot of other bullshit going on, and I think maybe they tread too close to dealing with some real world bullshit that I don't think I want to deal with or have come up in my gaming. Like, I think that maybe that's it. I don't have to worry about anyone getting offended by what I say about Krieg, but if you have real world religions in your game, you do. Like, can't really debate religious beliefs in your game if you use the real religions. It's just not as kosher. while I am a very avid nihilist, I would never dunk on anybody for what they believe. Well, I mean, I'll dunk on people with their pieces of shit. Fuck Nazis. But, like, if your beliefs don't hurt anybody, I would stand and fight for your right to believe whatever you want to believe as long as you're being a decent person. That's my whole vibe. That's my rant about what's right and wrong, Possum, during this morning's. I don't know, the whole thing comes down to I'd like to be interested in Trench Crusade. I love trench warfare. I love World War One. I don't love them. I am extremely interested. It has been a area of focus that, for no reason other than my own interest, I have loved learning as much as I can about that time period because of just, I think we're in a very similar time period now. Not to go on a tangent rant, but I can talk about World War One all damn day. My wife and I call it grandpaing. When I grandpa my wife, when I talk to her about things that not even, it's like the step past like dadding. You're like, oh, don't dad me. Don't act like you're my dad. Grandpaing is when you act like you're an 80-year-old, not even 80, like a 120-year-old man who remembers World War One. You're talking about all the things that have changed. I like to do that. But yeah, World War One it changed so much about our species and like the timeline of the future, and it had such an impact on especially Warhammer. World War One had a bigger impact on Warhammer. You should just play Last War instead of that other one. The other one about Doggerland. Yeah, I do love Last War, and I've not built any model specifically for Last War, but I absolutely plan to, and that is one that I would like to try to work on coming up with some of my own rules or my own expansion based on the Zone Rouge, which I might have talked about that before, but it's the Zone Rouge is a place that I learned about on my honeymoon from a Frenchman who lives in now the Zone Jaune, but he was born in Lille, which he says it was in the Zone Rouge, but now we are clearly in the Zone Jaune. But I still find things, but it's like there is like such a good chunk of France that's just like, the government says it's inhospitable. You can't live there because the earth has been poisoned, like not from like literal poison, but just the shells. Like even if there was nothing in them, like so many artillery shells came down in France that you cannot live there anymore because the earth is poisoned. Like crops don't grow. And they have what is called the Iron Harvest every year, where there's like a literal division of the government of France. Like, are these farmers that go out with these harvesting equipment, and every year they harvest just tons of unexploded shells from World War One. Like not two, just one. Like it's nuts. And I think that is a really big. It's stuff like that Americans, I don't think, really understand or have perspective to understand, like the scale of Warhammer. Like when it talks about like, entire generations of families being born, living, dying, building a ship, like your great-great-grandfather all the way to your great-great-grandchild, like your lives existed to build a ship. And it's just like, that's not that bonkers. Like, or like when you talk about like how many shells and stuff, like the first day of the Somme, I don't remember, I'm not going to look it up, but the amount of shells that like artillery shells were dropped by humans on like the first day, it's just, I mean, millions. It was millions. I want to say it was 1.5 million shells were dropped during the first day of the Somme. Just the first day, which is the first time that they were going to experience tanks, which that's another thing. Tanks were actually part of the Navy. The word tank was used as a decoy almost. They didn't want them to know what they had. They were actually called land ships. I think it's difficult to keep stuff like that in perspective. Yeah, it's we just don't have, like the US, we don't have anything like that. Like talking to Remy, he was just like, when I was a kid, my parents, they would give me, an allowance. They told me to go dig a pond in my backyard. And I would find shell casings, and I would find, the trench wire poles that they would have barbed wire on. He was like, I would dig and I'd find one of those, or I'd find, like, he was like, this is just my backyard. Like, and that's so wild. I think being an American, we don't really understand Europe and how gnarly Europe is and how gnarly Europe has gotten. Like, I know that's not a popular one, but like, we absolutely have a problem with like racism. But even our racism is not like some racism, like German and like Russian racism. Like, it's just stuff that's like they hated each other before our country existed. Like, and have like done really, really bad things before their countries existed. Stuff like that. It's really weird. Europe's history, the more I learn about European history, the more it's just like, this explains why the world's fucked. Because people are just monsters, and we treat each other really badly. And we should not. We should fix that. Instead, we should just make dick monsters. Isn't this funner? That's just a little bit of tangents. Sorry if I'm talking too much about other things that are not related to this guy, but man, I'm really battling this guy real hard though. I'm gonna use a little more primer. I think around that eye. If I am ever talking or ranting about stuff that you're just like, okay, maybe not that, feel free to give me a heads up. I just didn't get to talking. I always appreciate the company. Awesome. I need to get a haircut. For the minute. It's really close outside. And also, kind of want to just let it keep growing. That's going to be real nasty. Oh no. You're going to look like you crawled out of the bottom of the ocean, and only your mother would love how beautiful your face is. Except that's not true, because your father loves you just as much as me. My beautiful baby. Something like that. That's what I'd say to my son if he was the second. Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, perspective. I think that's the problem really with the world for the most part. Not to have really heavy conversation with you this morning, Possum. But, yeah, I don't know. Creepy. It's creepy. $7.54. Well, I've got to go turn all my work stuff on and whatnot. This is probably a good stopping point, unless I can get a little bit more dark net on there. The next, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it here. I think this is good. I'll let that dry. Then I'll go in here. I'll pick up the skin, get this eye a little bit cleaned up. Then, ooh, I'm sorry, Possum. I'm thinking that I'm gonna put this stuff. That's flowing. That's not what I'm gonna. That's not what I'm gonna put on there. Where are you? I'm thinking maybe hiss. Boo, hiss. I'm thinking water effects. I'm thinking it'll be good for the eye. So, recreating any type of moving water effects from the bow, wake of vessel, waves, ripples, waterfalls, creating any moving effect is easy with the clear one-part low odor water-based resin product that holds its shape even on a vertical surface. So, with that said, maybe not, because that looks white. That looks clear. Might not have the water product. Yes. And, well, I'll keep looking for it. But yeah, I'm thinking just a little bit of resin or some kind of glossy something to coat. Maybe I've honestly thought about doing even PVA glue. I've got that PVA glue that I've put over some stuff before to just keep getting it glossy, building up a clear coat that still had depth to it. So I might go that way. I don't know. I kind of just want to get a gooey, soft eye shape. If you do make some last word, guys, I'm bringing some to UDD. We can make them kiss. We should. I will. Yeah, I should. I should make some under the dice, some last word guys for under the dice. I should. I really should. I've got a little board, a little 2x2 board that I put together that I need to just finish. To use scatter terrain and stuff. I need to finish my trees. I should work on last word stuff. I should. You're right. You're right, Possum. All right, bud. I will catch you later. I'm gonna call it here and go do work. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna be thinking about some last word stuff. You have a good day. You enjoy yourself. Take care. Stay safe. Much love, brother. Godspeed. Bye.